You probably invested your hard-earned money in that altcoin that you really believe in, and you're seeing the price drop lower and lower, yet Bitcoin's price goes higher and higher. In terms of satoshi value, your altcoin's price is lower overall. So you may be wondering, what is the reason behind it? Well, let's find out in this video. Stay tuned. Okay, so I've got lined up 4 different reasons why altcoins actually drop in price compared to the Bitcoin value. So in terms of Satoshi, you're seeing this happen all the time, over and over again. Maybe against USDT, not so much, but mostly against Satoshi. So hence why I'm really going to focus on that to kind of give you the reasons why I personally think, based on my personal experience since I've been in the crypto space in 2017, and I've seen this time and time again. So I'm going to start with number 1, and that is tokenomics. Now I can't stress how important tokenomics are. I have done a dedicated video on tokenomics. Depending on which platform you're watching this video in, do check it out. The link will be in the description of the video, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it should pop up on the top right hand corner of the screen. So do watch that video on tokenomics, explaining why I think that they are very important and very critical, especially when you do your research into a project. Be very careful with the tokenomics. Check out to see what is the total supply, what is the circulating supply, and also the team release tokens, right? So the team's tokens that get released play a crucial role in the price of your altcoin, in the one that you believe in. Now, if you're in it for the long term, maybe you don't care, but overall it does actually matter, because when the teams release their tokens, they do release them onto the market, and that can cause a price fluctuation. And normally what happens is when they have to release the team tokens, they also release some important news. Of course, I'm not going to bash on any specific projects in this video or anything like that. That's not the purpose of this video. It's just for you to be educated and to kind of be aware of these things, right? Because tokenomics are very important. So again, keep in mind, check in the white paper when the teams are supposed to get their tokens. Check around that time, or maybe set some alarms or something on your phone, and check to see what kind of news they're going to post, because as soon as they post some news, the price tends to pump quite a lot, and when it pumps, that's when the teams dump their tokens. Now, we have seen this in action many times. We cannot really prove it's the team, but when it was proven it's the team, because the blockchain explorer was monitored and we've seen team tokens get moved onto exchanges, then the team started to say, oh no, it wasn't us, so they were finding all these kind of excuses. So this is something to keep in mind. Very, very important. Tokenomics, total supply. If there's a huge difference between that and the circulating supply, be very, very aware, because that is high risk. Now let's move on and talk about point number 2, and that is private investors. So going back to tokenomics, this kind of go hand in hand. In the tokenomics, you should see when the private investors got in and how much they've actually purchased, because it usually gives you a rough percentage of what the private holdings are. So usually 10%, it could be as low as 5%, it could even be as high as 20% of the total supply. So that is a lot. That is a red alert. It's something that you got to keep in mind, because when these private investors get their tokens unlocked, then what do you think they're going to do? Of course, they're going to sell for profit, especially when we're talking about 2x, 3x, or even more, even for 1.5x. I mean, if they get a 50% return on their private holdings, of course they're going to sell. They don't care, right? They're just going to move on and look at the next future project. Now, some of these private investors might hold for longer, but again, you don't know that, right? You don't know that. So next, let's move on and talk about point number 3. Hey, if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Claudio and this is CryptoChain, the channel where I do crypto news, reviews, tutorials, and interviews. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, click subscribe, and enable notifications to not miss the next video I upload that may interest you. Okay, so point number 3, early holders get fed up. Now, of course, you could understand that. You've been an early holder yourself if you've been in it since the early days, maybe since they launched that ICO, maybe since they launched the IEO, the initial exchange offering. You've been in it for a long time and you're really fed up with these prices, right? You're fed up of the private investors selling, you're fed up with the team selling, you're fed up with the market in general, right? Because when this happens, there's only so much you can take, right? I know you may say, well, I'm in it for the long run, I don't care, but deep inside of you are really hurt, right? Because you're seeing your bag, your portfolio, your hard-earned money get absolutely crushed in the market while Bitcoin's price is still doing pretty well. And maybe even if it lost 20 or 30%, it didn't lose like 80% like your bug did, right? So that is something psychological. That is something that no matter how much you're trying to say that you don't care about it and you've got no emotions about it. Of course you've got emotions. I mean, you're human. There's only so much you can take, and it won't be long before you may say, well, I've had enough, I'm just going to look at something else. And that's when you sell at a loss, you get into something else by FOMOing in because you think that the price is going to grow somewhere else because of this new hype. Maybe it's DeFi, maybe it's blockchain oracles, I don't know, something that may hype you, and then you end up getting crushed there as well, and the cycle repeats, and that's how you lose your money. So this is something that does happen, right? And again, if you are a long-term holder and you don't care, again, early holders getting fed up can actually affect the price. So that is another reason, right? But let's talk about the final reason, and that is the fourth reason, and it's exchange bots. Again, exchange bots can do pretty much what they want automatically. They act based on the market sentiment. They act based on what's going on in the market, and most of the time it's usually against Bitcoin. If the Bitcoin price crashes, then the bots obviously want to sell and they want to get into USDT, the stable token, right? And maybe some other stable tokens or stable coins out there. But when the Bitcoin price pumps, have you noticed that your altcoin may not necessarily pump together with that? So what happens? Well, your altcoin is getting sold for satoshi. That is, of course, for Bitcoin, because the bots want to ride that uptrend, right? The bots have these alerts, these triggers that they've got configured. So of course, they're going to sell and they're going to make the exchange money. And these are not only exchange bots. Like when I say exchange bots, I don't necessarily mean that they're owned by the exchange. They can be owned by the exchange too, of course, but they could be owned by other people. So these type of bots can be very dangerous. Again, they do exist. You can't avoid it, right? They actually generate that trading volume most of the time because we're talking about large volume of trading. So on centralized exchanges, yes, exchange bots can cause price fluctuations too. So that is something to keep in mind. Again, don't panic when you see that because bots tend to switch in and out all the time. But these are pretty much the four things that I really wanted to cover: tokenomics, private investors, early holders getting fed up, and exchange bots. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you think there are other reasons that you personally feel that may actually influence the price, and what are they? And again, please don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I'd very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.